Hey, this is X Cult Baby, and as my name may suggest, I used to be in a cult. Now I'm an atheist, and I try to be pretty active in the online atheist community. And to be honest, there are a lot of things that atheists and anti-theists say that get under my skin. But there's one thing in particular that I have heard way too many times that pisses me off. So the topic of today's video is going to be why you, yes, you, should stop saying that all religions are cults.
LOL. At XCultBaby, what are you talking about? All religions hit at least some of the points on the Byte model, so they're all cults to a greater or lesser extent.
If everything that was even a little bit cult-like was classified as a cult, the word cult would be pretty fucking useless, wouldn't it? You know what else checks off at least some of the points on the Byte model? The American public school system, some office jobs, and pretty much every military organization on the planet. Stephen Hassan, who created the Byte model, also created something called the influence continuum. And what the influence continuum does is it helps us to identify the type of influence that people or organizations or whatever have, whether that influence is constructive and healthy or destructive and unhealthy. Simply having influence over people, as religions obviously do, is not enough to qualify it as a cult alone. A cult is an abusive system of controlling and often brainwashing people. There's also usually a hierarchical structure involved, with a leader or leaders at the top who benefit from having control over the followers. And there are plenty of religions out there that have no such hierarchical structure at all. A lot of religions are practiced very individualistically. Some of them don't even meet together as a group.
That's ridiculous. Those people are still brainwashed if they believe in stupid fairy tales. You could say all you want that religions aren't cults, but that's just your opinion.
Not every belief that you don't agree with came about via indoctrination or brainwashing. Lots of people find spiritual and religious beliefs that they like or identify with or think are true all on their own without somebody else leading them to that. Not every false belief comes out of some attempt to control or convert the masses or to indoctrinate.
LMFAO. They're still all cults, and I'm gonna call it like I see it. And I can, because it's a free country with free speech, and that means I can do or say whatever I want with no repercussions.
Well, you're welcome to do that if you want, but just know that you are doing a great disservice to the cult survivor community, myself included. Let's do a hypothetical. Just bear with me here. Let's say that we have somebody named Hector and somebody named Ava. Both Hector and Ava have left their former religions. They are both apostates. Hector left a Christian group, and he has severe religious trauma as a result. His friends and family who are still in the group no longer talk to him or have hardly any contact with him at all. He still has nightmares about his fear of hell. The strict behavioral rules that were enforced within the group still affect him now, even though there's no one around him to enforce those behaviors anymore. And he was so sheltered within that group of people who followed this religion that he doesn't really know how to socialize normally. Now, let's take Ava. Ava left a Wiccan group. After some consideration, Ava decided that it wasn't for her and moved on to look at some other faiths. She didn't receive any persecution at all from former members of her group or family members. She doesn't have any trauma. She was able to just move on unscathed. Can you really honestly look at the examples of someone like Hector and someone like Ava and say that both of them are cult survivors? To say that would obviously trivialize and misrepresent both of their religious experiences. Cult mind control is seriously damaging. It affects and controls people to a harmful degree. So, to go around saying that every religious person is in a cult is just totally ignorant. I have talked about my experiences in a cult with many formerly religious and currently religious people that I am friends with, And most of them can't even believe some of the stuff that I've gone through because they haven't experienced anything like what being in a cult is like. To me, calling every religion a cult is like calling everybody that you disagree with a Nazi. There are appropriate uses for that word when you're describing a Nazi. To use such a strong word as a blanket term for anybody you don't like completely muddies its meaning. The reason that those words have so much power, the reason they are such harsh labels, is because they stand for something truly awful. So to use it to describe things that are not truly awful just diminishes their power. The word cult becomes meaningless if you just apply it to anything that you don't like, essentially. And from my own personal experience as a cult survivor, there are so many other religions that I would gladly have chosen to have been born into, as opposed to the cult that I was raised in. I'm not gonna say that religious harm isn't a real thing. It very much is, and you can make as many arguments as you want about how every single religion is harmful, if that's what you're out here to do. But don't kid yourself. They're not all equally harmful, and they're definitely not all cults. To say that all religions are cults is hyperbolic, misleading, and just bullshit. That's all I really have to say on the subject. I am XCultBaby, reminding you to go free yourself. Thanks so much for watching, viewers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like, leave a comment letting me know what you think, subscribe and ring the bell to see more from me in the future, and share this video with anyone who might enjoy it. My social media links and my email address are in the description if you want to contact me or follow me on any other platforms. An extra special thanks to all of my patrons. I really appreciate your generosity and support. If you'd like to support me and this channel, links to my Patreon, PayPal, Amazon wishlist, and Teespring are all in the description. Thanks so much for your support.